Hello, hello, hello. Hey, friends. If you're here watching this replay, thank you so much for being here. My name is Svava Brooks, and I am a trauma recovery coach. And this channel, Releasing Your Authentic Self, has been specific for the people, the readers of my book, Releasing Your Authentic Self, and also for the people that are working through this daily guide together. So if you've stumbled upon this recording, please fast forward a little bit because there's going to be some chit chat and checking in, sharing the love and see how we're all doing here before we dig in deep. But today, the topic of discussion is inner child work. If you're curious about the coaching that I offer, or if you are looking for support around connecting with your inner child, please visit my website, svavabrooks.com, and there you will find a page specifically just on inner child work where I explain why that might be of interest to you if you are recovering from trauma or abuse. But if you're here with me live right here, right now, please say hello. Let me know that you're here. Hello, 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 friends. How are you? Good to be here with you all. Hey, Elizabeth, how are you? Hey, Lynn. Lady Leo. Yes, my birthday weekend was amazing. Everything I'd hoped for. Hey, Sue. How are you, sweet lady? So let's start right here now. How are we doing? How are we feeling today? This day has gone by like this. It's been like boom, 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 one of those days. So I'm going to be enjoying the next hour, just here hanging out, having fun with you guys. It was so much fun. I was sitting, yes, at my table having my breakfast with my children when all of a sudden Sabrina flips around her camera or her laptop, and there I was sitting in my pajamas in front of the group. It was so much fun. So much fun. So thank you guys for making that all happen. It was so, so sweet. Made my weekend. Yeah, exactly. I think some of you noticed I was a little startled. I'm like, wait, I haven't even brushed my teeth. Had my goofy reading glasses on. So I was like, these people know me. They know me. Hey, EJ, good to see you. Yahoo! Lady Leo hanging in there, processing your retreat. Oh my goodness, my friend, I am so excited for you to hear about the breakthroughs that you had at your retreat. I was doing the happy dance for you. She did it. She did it. She's rocking. She's rocking. And thank you so much for sharing it in the group, Lady Leo. We have to share those little breakthroughs because they're not so little, right? We have to share them because then other people, gives other people hope. Gives other people hope. What about you, Sue? How are you doing? How is EJ doing? Elizabeth, how are you doing? Lynn, how are you doing? We're sending lots and lots of love and light to our friend, Rob. If you watch this later, my friend, you're in my heart. Sending you so much love. Lots going on in your world for the next, or has been for a few weeks now. Thank you, Lady Leo. Lady Leo says, thank you. It wasn't nice or pretty in the storm, but I'm grateful for the process. Yes. Yes. So now you know when they say trust the process, you run the other way. No, 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 no. But Elizabeth says, I'm fine. Intense summer. Had a big fight with my mother. Narcissistic issues again. Oh, bless your heart, my friend. It is hard. It is hard. And people that are challenged with narcissism, they trying to engage in conversations, it can make us feel a little crazy. It's crazy making. So you're in the right place. Feel free to vent. We hold the bucket. We get it. Thank you, Sue. Thinking of Rob tomorrow. Yes, it's past midnight for you now, isn't it? Okay-ish, extremely tired, nearly didn't make it. Oh, I hear you. I hear you. Well, and on top of that, there's this I think it's full moon tonight. So when I saw that flash come through my screen, I'm like, okay, that explains the energy I've been feeling today. Like, whew. All right, Lynn. Yes, I'm here today. I know yesterday I was MIA. I'm back this week. Yes, EJ, I don't know about you. Some people say it's hogwash, but I definitely feel the tension of the moon, and a lot of other people do too. And it makes sense, right? The moon influences our oceans, right? Water. And what are we? What are we? Right. How many percent water is sitting over here, even though it looks like dry land? So yeah, tonight we do protection, shield, protect yourself. I was getting there, Lady Leo, right? Send Reiki ahead into the day, into dealing with anybody. Sage everything, right? Sage everything. Saging, saging, saging. Tapping, tapping, tapping. Feeling my feet on the ground, standing up, clenching, grounding, grounding. I'm grounded. I'm grounded. I'm grounded. Yes, that's right, Lynn. Cucumbers with legs. That's what we are. So yes, and that on top of 2020. Yeah. Some of you saw that I posted on my Facebook story, like the references, the references that we're gonna make about 2020 some years from now. Is that when we ask someone, right, how was your day? It was a total 2020. It's like, okay, enough said. That made me laugh. So you ground, you're throat punching. All right, we all have our ways. We all have our ways. So just note to put out there. Let's keep ourselves safe and unharmed, and others. So I know, Lynn. I hear you. I hear you. And I know all of us are doing our best to stay away from the crazy juju. Exactly, Sue, right? There you go, Lady Leo. That's right. You and EJ clearly are on the same page here. So, on the same page. Let's see. So, we've checked in with everybody. EJ, how are you doing? You just spit out your pizza. Ooh. That's funny. That's funny. Funny. Yes, I got it. I got it that you were laughing. All right, sweet friends. Today we are digging a little deep. What do you think? Are we going into the waist high water of the pool? Right? 2 feet, 3 feet, or all the way in? Before, we are going to talk about inner child work and your relationship with your inner child today. And before I do, I just want to share a few things that I have on my website about what is inner child work. And then we have some questions about, and a few of you shared your journal entries about, your relationship with your inner child. And I would love to hear from anyone else that's here if you have some thoughts or questions about inner child work. And we can share our experiences. So, and in celebration of that, I did bring my little girl with me to our live stream today. Few of you have seen this precious little girl. She is, I keep her close, so she knows that I see her every single day, because for years she felt abandoned, right? Disregarded. No one cared. It didn't matter how she was feeling, how hurt she was, and no one was going to come get her. And so now that I'm her parent and her protector, right? She knows she is and will always be my number one relationship. And let me just say, there's a few of them inside of me, meaning I have a few little inner children, right? There's my inner teenager. I also have an infant, a really, really young inner child. I also have my young adult self. And often when we kind of touch in with ourselves and these parts, it often, we find them around some significant events that happened in our lives, or some, milestones in terms of our development. So, but she used to be very shy when I would bring her out to share with you. When I first started doing these videos, actually, I could feel her cringe. Could feel her cringe, and she'd be like, "Don't tell them. They're going to judge you. They're going to think you're crazy. Don't." And I'd be like, "Hey, sweet girl, I got this. It's not you they're judging." If they're judging anybody, they'll be like, "That woman's weird. That's weird." And I remember that too. When I first started doing inner child work, I'm like, doing what? Talking to what? Who? Why? So, but now she knows. I'm the mama bear. It stops here. It stops here. So, and she's actually, I can feel her like perk up. She's like, yeah, I'm important. Important enough to brag about, right? Brag about her. So what is inner child work? So the concept of inner child revolves around the idea that within each of us is an unconscious part that still reflects the child that we once were. That manifesting as certain behaviors, personality characteristics, and even actions that we make in our day-to-day lives. See, trauma stunts our emotional growth. That was me. If a traumatic event occurs to us at a young age or multiple varying times in our childhood, we end up carrying the unexpressed pain and emotion felt and then expressed by ourselves at that age. As children do not know how to express and examine trauma, right? So the event is suppressed in the mind and body, needing to be released when we are adults capable of examining complex emotions, right? So many of us can recall and tap into being afraid of our feelings. They feel so big. If I start to feel those feelings, if I let myself feel my sadness, if I let myself, get angry or feel the hurt, I will be swallowed up by it. It feels so huge. For so many of us, it's big because we were little. We were little bodies feeling big feelings with no one to support us and help us and keep us safe as we were processing them. So, simply put, connecting with your inner child and his or her emotions and memories allows you to find many of the roots of our issues as adults. The inner child can repress many things: emotions, memories, physical pain, beliefs about ourselves, other people, all of which, right, continues to exist within you as an adult, influencing you without your knowing, recreating our stories of trauma, sabotaging our ability to find peace and healing until it feels validated and heard. Inner child work is vital to revealing the long-held beliefs and emotions in order to gain clarity over how you may act them out daily and to release them, right? As they no longer have a place in your life. So I thought I would add that in here. Just a little insight to why inner child work is helpful to us. So I'm going to now turn to the Facebook page, right? Starting with, it took years to build a loving relationship with my inner child. Yep. I learned how to be the loving parent she always needed by nurturing her, holding her when she cried endless tears, and giving this hurt little girl all the attention she deserved but had never experienced. So my two questions: how is your relationship with your inner child progressing this week? And if you don't have one yet, right, I invite you to explore, right? Would you be willing to consider connecting with your inner child this week? And if you are, I'm happy to give you some suggestions on how you can do that. And the second question today, what does your inner child need from you right now? Awesome, Elizabeth. Glad that it was helpful to you to hear that. Let's see, now I'm scrolling down here. I have a handful of comments here. Lady Leo gave me permission to share her answer to those two questions. She says, I ran from inner child work until I could run no more. And even then, I looked away when she needed me the most. But today, I'm happy to say I acknowledge her. I am able to sit with her, offering kind words of comfort. I'm working on being the adult that I needed all those years ago. Beautiful, Lady Leo. Beautiful. She goes on to say, right now, my inner child needs me to embrace my physical body, something that is so very difficult for me to do. So I'm taking it one part of my body at a time. I've started scheduling meals because I generally eat to stop being hungry instead of nourishment. Although I know there is no one else that can comfort those younger parts or love this body, I do have trusted friends that are willing to hold space concerning my body being whole while I work on believing and knowing that my body is a wonderful vessel. This is beautiful, Lady Leo. Beautiful, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for sharing this. And the thing is, our inner children they're very patient with us. Yes, of course, they're children and they can, be tantrumy and may be upset with us. But they also know we're doing our best. They know. They do know. They do know we are doing our best. And the fact that you are starting to care for her home is huge. Is huge. So I'm happy for both of you. All of you. Because I know you've also talked about your inner teenager, So when we can give each part a voice, I see you, I hear you, I accept you, then we integrate them. Then we bring them into the whole. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Lady Leo. Made my heart sing. Let's see here. Elizabeth says, I think I didn't have any relationship with my inner child this week. I'm adulting, which is a victory for me. Woohoo! Yes. That's awesome. Good for you. Good for you. And Lynn says, it's kind of odd. I had a chance encounter today with the man who was the child psychologist of the school district I grew up in. Wow. Interesting. Wow. But I'm assuming, I'm gonna assume, I'd like to assume there were fond memories seeing that person, the child psychologist. So let's see here. Moving on to our next share. Let's see here. Sue P shared with us. She says, if I'm really honest, my relationship and connection with my inner child is somewhat patchy. There are times when I am very aware of her pain, and her longing to be loved and nurtured, and occasionally her joy and her delight. But then so many other things crowd in, not least recently the needs of my family and my own children that somehow don't give her time, and I lose touch again. So I guess what she wants and needs is for me to be more consistent. Something she and I never had. I hear you, Sue. I hear you. But I want to celebrate you for all the connection and all the work that you have done to connect with her. And you have done tremendous work of sitting with her, making it safe for her to express her feelings. Right? So don't just focus on what you haven't done, especially lately, but focus on also what you have done. And making a time for her every now and then goes a long ways. And checking in with her and asking her what she needs. And that's, again, also, why I keep the picture of my little girl close by. Because there are days that, I don't sit and dialogue with her as much every day as I used to. There was definitely times where we would be having heart-to-heart consistently. And then now all I got to do is, hey, girly, I got you, right? And then if there's stuff going on inside, I check in with her. Consistent, yes, is key, but even if it's just a short check-in. Elizabeth says, yes, the longing for being accepted and loved as a child. Yes, right? Yes, it is so easy to be distracted. I agree, Sue. I agree. And that's why we also need to be gentle with ourselves, right? Especially right now. It's like, yep, the world is upside down. We don't know which direction are we going? Are we coming or going? All of that. So again, not going to the shoulds. Now that I'm becoming aware, okay, maybe I should check in with her a little bit more. How can I add that to my self-care routine starting maybe tomorrow? So let's see. EJ says, not sure my inner child wants to hear from me. And on the other side, the coin, not even sure how to reach out to her. That doesn't make her run and hide. I hear you. Anybody else want to comment? Have had that experience? Because you're not alone, EJ. You're not alone. You're not alone, my friend. I had to earn her trust. In the beginning, when I started to, I was kind of scared of her, right? And she was scared of me. because I knew she remembered, right? No, EJ, you're absolutely, it's very common. Exactly. Thank you, Elizabeth. It's very common, EJ, that we are like, I don't think she wants me have anything to do with me. She doesn't really like adults. And she thinks I'm full of crap anyways. And who am I to tell her now? Who am I to show up for her now? They can be sassy, you know? They can definitely be, there's some sass there. So, and that's again where thank you, ladies. Thank you, Lady Leo. Thank you, Sue. That's where we all start. Exactly. Exactly. Hey, is Rob here? I can't see Rob. I hear Lynn commenting, answering Rob, and I can't see him. Can you guys see Rob's texts on here? Okay, thank you, Sue. I was like, am I missing something? Okay, thanks, guys. When I did all, yes, exactly, they are angry. These little parts are very angry. They're hurt. And when in the beginning, most of it, I wasn't comfortable with feeling that hurt. I wasn't comfortable with, right? And so that's the little, the bridge we slowly walk over towards them. It's like, okay, I'm here. I'm scared too. I'm not sure how to do this. You know, I know this is important. I want to connect with you because you have feelings and memories that I know were hard to carry as a child, but I'm an adult now. And I can validate that, the stuff that you think is making you feel crazy because no one believes you. I believe you because I was there, right? So, and she is the, you know, and she really wants love from you, right? Because she, like, you know, your parents can't parent you now. You're a grown up. It's too late. But the things that she didn't get as a little girl, you can give to her now. And when we start to give those things to our inner children, the time, the attention, the kindness, taking care of our bodies, because she lives in here. I want her to feel fed. Like I've told you guys, when I was building my relationship with my little girl, she was pissed off at me because when I was triggered, my trauma, I didn't eat. Right? I couldn't feel anything. I wasn't feeling my body. So she would be like, I can't trust you. You don't feed me. You don't take care of me. Why should I trust you? So I'd be like, you're right. You're absolutely right. I'm not taking care of you. I'm not taking care of this body. And I had to face my fear and feelings about that. And then as I was consistent with exercise, eating, water, sleep, play, she was like, okay, I can trust you now. You're being consistent. You're doing what you said you're going to do. Okay. And then it's like building a real relationship. It became a healthy exchange. And some of us are scared of them because we don't want all the memories. But the thing is, they don't want to relive all the memories either. They will bring you the ones that both of you know need to be addressed. So doing inner child work, we learn to safely express our feelings. We start to, we learn to figure out, right, is this past or is this now? We can address the unmet need. What are some of the unmet needs that you didn't get as a child, and that you maybe are wanting from other adults around you, right? We turn ourselves into pretzels in caretaking mode. Now do you love me? If I do this for you, then now do you love me? Now do you love me? Right? Instead of setting boundaries, taking care of us first, asking for what we need, right? So, lot of good things that come from it. And it is a process. It is a process. Sue says, maybe some of the overwhelm I'm feeling is her. Interesting, Sue. I would be curious. I don't know, right? Be curious. Follow that feeling into your body. Yes, Lynn. Yes. No worries, Lynn. No worries. Lady Leo says, EJ, when I was preparing for the retreat, my inner teen showed up strong, not wanting to go. I stopped packing and listened and felt the feelings. Then I let her know that the adult was going. Yes, exactly. Beautiful, Lady Leo, because that's exactly it. When we, sabotage or resist things, or, right, those tantrums get in the way, right? Those unmet needs get in the way. And so part of becoming the parent that you needed, you become the adult, and you are loving and you are firm with the child and the teenager, right? Beautiful, Lady Leo. Yes, Lynn, it is a painful process at times. Yes. There you go. She could stay home or just observe at the retreat. Yes, Elizabeth, it is a form of regression. It is. But like I said, I think more of it that we are, from this moment in the now, inviting that part. And this is very helpful, obviously, to do with a practitioner or a coach or a therapist in the beginning, to help kind of navigate the conversation and what questions to ask, perhaps. But you make it safe for her, since it's just ladies here with us tonight, or him, to, right? It's like once you tap into the feeling, right? Notice where it is. Tap into how long have you felt this way? What's the truth about that? And then often your inner child will show itself, right? It's like the shame or the anger. It's like, why bother? And then we tap into, as a result of it, the story that the inner child has. I'm so bad anyways. No one wants to listen to me. And then we affirm by actually listening. I understand you feel that way. No one listened to you when you were a child. I'm so sorry. That must have been, hard, being a little girl with all that hurt. And then we let that part show you the hurt, the tears. And so when you can hold safe space for that part to come through, and the tears are yours and her truth. It's a release. And then you are proving to her that people do care. She's not broken. She's not bad. No, she should not hide. And then we ask, what is it that I'm doing today that makes you feel this way? Because often we continue, right, the inner critical thoughts. And we treat ourselves the way we were treated in the past. So then sometimes they tell us, well, you don't feed me, right? Or, you don't get enough sleep, or you never play. Hey, Sue, glad you're here. So glad you're here. Stay safe on the road. We miss you, friend. Thanks for all that you're doing. I know you're doing so important work in the world. Always glad when you pop in. So, yes. I hope that gave you some insight to what that dialogue can look and feel. And like I said, it helps to have someone that holds safe space for us to kind of surrender to that process a little bit. Excellent, Elizabeth. Lynn says, reminisce a little bit with your old school psychologist, told him what he nor anybody knew they were dealing with me, and I was living as far as home. I hear you. I hear you. Yep. I hear you. Well, maybe it's a chance for you to visit that little girl, to go back 30 years or more and see what that part needed. So, like I said, it's very, very powerful, and it's worth doing because it helps to validate so much that no one outside of you can validate, right? Because this little girl only has you. And the truth is, she only wants that validation from you, not anybody else. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I hear you, Elizabeth. I hear you, Elizabeth. And so you bring up a great point. And so what I do with people when they come, we talk about, how some of those things may be showing up in your life today. What are you struggling with today, right? And there's a story about not, being enough, having enough, being worthy, valuable, that maybe comes from the inner child. And so then checking in with a inner child, and the stories, the thoughts, and the beliefs that she carried, because often those become our core values. And so when you can connect with the inner child, you can remind her it wasn't her fault, that no matter how hard things were, she did deserve, the love, the affection, the care, the nurturing, the time, the gentleness, the delight. And she has every right to feel sad and hurt about that, and help her see that there was nothing wrong with her, that not getting that wasn't her fault. So we are learning so much about what children needs and about our developmental stages, right? So it's to go back and help, when I say reparent, is to maybe be intentional and check in with your child at each stage of development. And so even I read a lot of parenting books because I had no idea. And of course, I started doing a lot of this digging when I became a parent myself, where I was like, I don't know what to do. So I dove into reading parenting books. And then I realized, wait a minute, I got none of this parenting. And then I've shared this resource with you guys before. I found this beautiful parenting book called Growing Up Again, and where it deeply covered the stages of development that we may be struggling with our own children, is also where we, weren't being parented, or weren't, our needs weren't being met in that particular stage of our development. So doing that work helped me to kind of put together the pieces. And then there were things that I thought that, it didn't matter. I'm fine. I didn't get those things. It's okay. But it did matter. It did matter. And so it's been interesting. And some of those tools have helped me, then to reparent my kids now, because I was just starting off with my healing journey when I had my kids. So, hey Lynn, she says he knew as a kid they couldn't crack me, but he had no clue of the extent of it. Wow, Lynn. Well, I'm sure it was a gift to him to run into you today, my friend. I was a pint-sized version of the wise ass I am today. You are funny. You're welcome, Elizabeth. You're welcome, friend. You're welcome. So glad you're here. Let's see. Rob also had left us a message about, and he gave me permission to share. He says here, the only inner child thing I've really done is theory work. I understand it as a way of explaining scars on the psyche. And I also had experience when I was awoke by a nightmare of a scared child shaking me awake and then running off. This was after talking to Svava about inner child work, and I interpret it as my inner child introducing itself. My other theory is that I am the outer child and I have an inner adult hiding. Yep, I hear you, Rob. I hear you. The thing is, right, a lot of people grow up, these bodies grow up, right? These bodies grow up, but often when we interact with people in the world, it's like you're dealing with a toddler or an angry teenager because they're emotionally stunted, right? They were traumatized. They were traumatized. So there's a lot of, right, adults in the world operating on emotional level of, younger person. And again, for so many of us, me included, and this is where I felt, broken and stupid for so long. It's like, what's wrong with me? Once I understood why, it wasn't my fault, right? If you think about it, our nervous system hijacked a lot, fight or flight or freeze. I lose connection to my prefrontal cortex where I can think about how I'm going to respond. And when I'm triggered, I was triggered, my inner child would usually show up as the badass, my teenager usually, like my rebellious, would push boundaries and in people's faces, especially people in authority. So it's a few layers, right, to navigate. But the more we become aware, and again, that's where it's, working, doing inner child, working with the body, right? Working with the body, because the body doesn't lie. The body cannot lie to you. Right, as we know, it keeps the score, it keeps the secret. It's a historical record of our life. And what's giving a lot of us anxiety and depression and overwhelm is the unresolved chaos that's inside of us, because there's a few little children running around like, what do we do with all this? And so when we do that inner child work, we become the parent, the grounded, safe, caring, patient, right? But loving and firm adult, because we all need a boundary. We all need, like, yeah, okay, we can watch one episode, but not the whole series in one night. We have to get up for school tomorrow. We have to get up for work. Yes, you can have 3 cookies, not the whole box. That's the adult's job. We're going to work first, and then we're going to make time for play. These are the parts that we now, as adults, play in taking responsibility for our bodies and our emotional, mental, social well-being. And it's not a responsibility as a burden or as a blame, but it's like, you are the adult here. You have power now. You didn't have it then. You are able to respond, right? Once you understand why these parts responded so automatically, we're learning about trauma. We're understanding the cycles. We see our habits. 90% of what we do is a repeat. 90% is a repeat. Repeat, repeat, repeat. So, I don't want 90% of all those. How do I change it? How do I make a difference? How do I shift? We make those choices with intention and awareness in this moment, sometimes every second of the minute, one breath at a time. That's how our mind works. If we are not engaging in what direction we're going, what is it that I want? What am I working towards? Your nervous system, the default mode network goes, and for some of us, the default mode network, which is when we're not thinking, we're daydreaming, it's brutal in there. So even though it feels like a lot of work in the beginning, like I said, that's what I often say, it's like toilet training a puppy, right? There's a lot of nights we stay up and we're taking that puppy out every hour on the hour. But after a time, a while, it gets easier. It's hardwired. You're starting to rewire your body and your nervous system. And that's where we start to feel empowered. Like, I'm the pause. We create that pause. How am I going to respond to what's happening here? Right? As Lady Leo beautifully shared, right? Packing for her exciting retreat And you could feel the teenager come up. I don't want to do this. Screw that. That's no fun. We're not going. I'm not participating. I don't trust these people, right? You could feel her. Then it's like, okay, let's take time. Let's talk about this, right? And then you chose to go, and you had an amazing time because you assured the part that had taken care of you in the past, the part of us who's like, oh, I'm going to be the adult today. Yeah, I'm only 7, or I'm only 4, or I'm only, right? We learn to play adult pretty soon, pretty early, way too quick for many of us. And we miss out on play and joy and creativity, authenticity. Like, who am I? What do I like to do? Not having to be an adult way, way, way too soon, because it's the only way I know to be safe, to please everybody here. And maybe that's going to be the only way I'm going to get the attention that I desperately need. There you go. There you go, Lynn. That's absolutely right. We learn by making the wrong choices. That's humans. Sorry. The only way we learn is by, oh, they said this is hot. I wonder how hot, right? We stick our finger in the fire. Oh, yeah, they were right. It is hot. I guess I won't be doing that again. And here we are doing it with, right, joy, laughter. Lynn. Elizabeth says, I used to be very shy and dependent as a defense mechanism. Yep, I get it. I get it. Yep. Those defense mechanisms become our identities, right? They become our roles in the family, and then they become our identities. And like I've told you guys from before, no, I like things to be orderly. I was a control freak. I was terrorizing my children. I drove everybody crazy. Yes, you do what you do to survive. Absolutely, until you learn differently. Yes, exactly. You learn to be this way. And now, my friends, we are learning to be different. So, the card for us today. One day, she woke up and decided to believe. Good, Elizabeth. I'm glad you are feeling better. You are doing great. And the part of us who believes, who never gives up hope, it was her. Her. They also carry that spark. They carry the joy, the spark, the wonder of life. It's them. So, can you tell I'm a little passionate about inner child work? Well, my friends, thank you so much for being here today, for the love and support you guys give each other. As always, I'm inspired by your sharing, as always. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, sweet friends, please help me out and give me a thumbs up here on YouTube if this was helpful to you. That helps this video maybe reach a few more people, even though I know we love to keep our space just for ourselves. I know that too sometimes. So I appreciate that. And my goal and hope is to be back here on Thursday. Until then, have a beautiful couple of days until I see you next. And be gentle with yourselves. Be gentle with yourself. Much love to you all. Have a good evening. Bye, everyone. Bye now.